we're headed into the greatest debate about the American economy, or in the midst of the greatest debate about the American economy, really since the Great Depression. And the reason for that is you can't have a recovery out of this recession. You can't go back to the old economy, and you shouldn't want to. You can't go back because we can't, as a country, keep borrowing $2 billion a day, which we were while this economy was working before the downturn. Largely from abroad, largely from Chinese and Japanese central bankers. We can't have consumers, households spending more than they earn, drawing down on their homes, racking up credit cards, student loans, auto loans, every conceivable kind of consumer loan to sustain a middle-class lifestyle while their incomes were stagnant or falling. We can't go back to that. We can't have a finance sector that makes 40% of the profits of the country. And does so by creating these bubbles, the dot-com bubble, the housing bubble that explode in our faces and drive us into the worst downturn. So fundamental changes have to be made. President Obama has stated this very clearly. He says America has to start building its economy on a foundation that is a rock of investment and production rather than the shifting sands of speculation and debt. And he's laid out some elements of an alternative. We're in the midst of the healthcare fight, needless to say, which is part of building a public social contract to replace what we used to do through great corporations with unions and negotiations, which are now, corporations are now threatened. We've got to create a public healthcare system that gives people affordable healthcare. He's laid out an investment program for new energy, which is part of both meeting the global warming thing and potentially part of a new industrial policy. He's said that he will support the Employee Free Choice Act, which has got to be a centerpiece of an aggressive wage policy, raising the minimum wage, EFCA, hourly workers, so that workers get a fair share of the profits. All of those arguments are either started or ongoing, but the discussion about America's economic strategy, about whether we will make things in America, is really, we haven't even begun to discuss. And yet it is the center of what happens to us as a society, whether we sustain an American dream in reach of most Americans, whether we sustain a broad middle class, or whether we continue to build an economy of Gilded Age inequality, in which more and more people sink in, and a few get the resources of a global marketplace.